each and every one of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this lovely town hall series. We've got your back. All of us First Ladies are getting together to educate, empower, and just strengthen our community and strengthen women in the area of finance and everything else in between. Because when women get together, and some fellas too, we start talking and chatting and we start learning from each other, and it's absolutely amazing. I am MYESHA CHANEY, and I'm going to be the moderator for tonight. And I'd like to introduce you to Phineas, who will be our technical guru behind the scenes. Phineas, go ahead and give us the town hall rules.
Hi, everybody. I'm actually really excited to be here with you this evening, but I just really wanted to let you guys know that this is a live broadcast, so many things can possibly happen during the course of it. And if something does happen, you will see me pop in to kind of resolve those issues. So if you do see me, that's why I'm there. I'm going to leave now. Again, Maya, you're doing great. You know what? I'm going to start. I'm going to play that opening for just so that we can start it with it. Okay?
Great.
Perfect.
We got your back.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Collins, publisher of LA Focus newspaper. Welcome to the First Ladies We Got Your Back, and we do have your back, Town Hall series sponsored by Union Bank. And here to kick things off is ERICA Campbell.
Hey, welcome back. We're so honored to have you with us today. I just want you guys to shout us out in the comments. Let us know where you're streaming from, where you're watching from, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. But nonetheless, it's welcome. I'm excited for you to be here. I want to introduce some of our panelists for tonight. We have some amazing women and gentlemen here to serve us. Wendy Raquel Robinson is best known as an actress, an entrepreneur. She has won the NAACP Image Award. She's a co-founder of the Amazing Grace Conservatory, a theatrical training institute. And I can't wait to hear more from her today. KASIOPIA Watts is the assistant principal here in South Los Angeles. She's the owner of Simply Unforgettable Events. She is also the program director of Tina's Angels and Richard's Warriors, a mentoring program established by Tina Knowles Lawson. We're happy to welcome to the panel tonight, Dr. Brittany Hicks. She's the founder and CEO of Genesis Concierge Medicine. And she goes to the home, to the business office, and handle all concierge medical service. We also have NESI STEWART. She is the owner of Printmasters in Los Alamitos. Her business has been around for almost a couple decades, and she serves her customers from everything from graphic design to production and everything in between. She's also the immediate past president of the board of directors of the Casa Youth Shelter and a member of the board of directors for the City of Los Alamitos Chamber of Commerce. Couple more. I'm introducing everybody. We have Frank Robinson with us, who is the Diverse Markets Executive and Community-Based Programs Manager for Union Bank. And in this capacity, he strategically advises the president of the Union Bank and its partners. We also have EDWIN Lombard, who is the president and CEO of the California African American Chamber of Commerce. He's the executive director of the California African American Action Fund, a 501c3 nonprofit business organization that educates, trains, supports Black businesses in California. You guys, you are in for a real treat tonight. We have some amazing people that are going to share with us. And I'm looking forward to the conversation and learning and growing and facilitating this process. So are y'all ready to get into this with us? Hey, E, what's up? Erica is here.
How are you?
I'm doing great. We're so honored that you are here and hosting with us, and we're delighted. Let's hear from you for a few minutes. Tell us what's on your heart. What are you thinking about women in business and entrepreneurship? And how have you in this pandemic navigated life and business as a woman?
Well, first, let me say thank you for being a part of this. I think it's very important that we talk about unity and finance and, just engaging culture and, letting the women know that we have their backs, that they don't have to do this alone, and then supplying the resources. I've worked my whole life, whether it was at a grocery store or pressing hair, so many things that before I called myself an entrepreneur. It's common language now. Kids want to start businesses, and a lot of people are. But this is to encourage and let them know that we've all been sometimes in the same boat of trying something new we've never done before. But it is our job to seek knowledge. And so you being here tonight means you're seeking knowledge. A big thanks to the First Ladies, T. DeVita, and to Lisa Collins, and to you, and to Union Bank, sponsors. And I'm excited to hear from the panelists tonight. MYESHA, you are the perfect person to do this. You're a businesswoman, you're a first lady. You guys just bought a big building in Long Beach, and we know that real estate in California is no joke. So you got to be pretty smart to do that. So you're the perfect person to host this tonight.
Thank you so much. I am so excited. Be sure you follow us on YouTube. Go to the YouTube page, hit subscribe. LA Focus, Let's Talk Podcast. Don't forget to let us know in the chat your location, where are you watching from, and we hope to inspire and encourage you today. So first things first, let's talk to Miss Wendy Raquel Williams. Let's see how God has been working, how life has been working. Tell us how you have managed to pivot Amazing Grace Conservatory in the midst of the pandemic.
But how y'all doing?
Okay.
Hey,
Robinson.
I'm Robinson. Yeah,
Yes, Wendy Raquel Robinson, you are right.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I'm really excited to be here, especially with you sisters. And me and ERICA go way back.
Yes.
So she knows the history of Amazing Grace Conservatory. And for over 25 years, we have been, deep in the trenches in South Central and just touching thousands of lives of artists that are doing incredible things right now. You know how they say your seeds will do better than you, and they really are. From Issa Rae to Ashton Sanders, it's like now they're giving me jobs. So it's amazing. Yeah, it's so full circle. It's incredible. But it's been a huge shift. And we just had a staff meeting last night. And as we look back on the 1 year of where we are with the pandemic, and we shifted immediately and went online. We teach acting, voice, dance, spoken word, yoga, media arts, everything. But I'm so proud of our dedicated staff because we didn't miss a beat. And we took all of the classes. We had the support of the parents, and we went to Zoom. It wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy. And, we've been begging, we've been out there, we've had a lot of sponsorships from, the supervisor, Mark Ridley Thomas, well, now council member. We got a lot of grants. We've been applying for the PPPs, got the first PP. Now we're on the second PP, trying to get to the PPP. So it's really been a side hustle that has turned into, it's been a very, and I say side hustle because that's what we're talking about, but now it's become a mainstream thing. And I look at it as opportunities come from obstacles sometimes. It's really made us think so far outside of the box. And I feel like we've been busier now than we've ever been. We've done more now because we can touch more people. I got students in Detroit, Florida, New York, whereas before we didn't get that. So you got to find that silver lining. And it's really, it hasn't been easy. Teaching dance, I feel so bad for my dance teachers because it's like, no, that's your left, but it's your right. But turn around and this, that, and finding the space. But more importantly, keeping the young people engaged.
Yes.
You and your baby, so I know ERICA. So it's really it's not necessarily COVID, it's the aftermath of what COVID is going to do on the mental health, because a lot of young people have checked out. So it's like, they're zoomed out. They're zoomed out. It's like, well, now on Saturdays, you guys got to come to AGC and take these classes. And it's like, but how do you reach them right where they are and still be impactful? And I think that's been the greatest challenge, but it's been the greatest blessing and the greatest reward, because our numbers, yes, we did fall off at least 45%, especially with the teens and stuff in terms of that. But we started teaching adult classes. Like I said, we got the people from out of state. So it caused us to pivot and to think very differently. To constantly think about that. As I just saw on the news today, there's a third wave in Italy. So it's like, wow, don't get too comfortable. We might just be in this virtual realm. And it's also made me think, even when we go back with a hybrid of in person and be able to touch the masses. So I know I'm running my mouth. I know you got a lot of panelists, but I could go on and on and on, because it's been the greatest teachable moments, very difficult, but at the time, so rewarding. And just to see the generosity. I think the shift that I see more in the world right now is that there is a common denominator of, wow, I understand what you're going through, because I'm going through something similar. So people have opened up their hearts, and the giving has just been so abundant. It's been such a blessing. I could just go on and on and on, but we've been able to sustain. We own our building. So shout out to you, MYESHA, because I get it. Thank God. But thank God, there's a mortgage and it's not rent that we have to negotiate and this, that, and the other. So we made a lot of choices prior to the pandemic that were also a blessing. But then even with the pandemic, we had to learn how to navigate through this new space so we don't know what we don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the word is, it's unschedulable. What I'm doing, because guess what? It's unschedulable, because we don't know if we're going to be closed, we're going to be open, we're going to be this, we're going to be that. But the one thing that we do know is that we keep going with the mission. And vision, and providing a place and a platform, even though it's a virtual space, but it's still a platform for young people to be expressive and for artists to, do their thing. So it's been a blessing on many levels. Wow. Yeah, it's been a lot.
Well, it's really encouraging, because you've mentioned that you pivoted by offering adult classes, and you said, let's go online, let's do whatever we can, because we see ourselves on the other side of this pandemic. Maybe this is a chance for us to learn and grow and try something very new to sustain ourselves in the middle of the journey. I think that's remarkable, and I can't wait to bring my kids to AGC, okay?
Baby, well, we got an open house on March 27th. I will send you everything. Yeah, we're starting back up. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love that. I
cannot wait.
I would love that.
Thank you so
and I think
much.
you're making it too big for me, Erica. I'm like,
I have 2 more little ones.
Okay, well, we ready.
Okay.
We go from ages 5 to 18. But yes, it's challenging, but, really, really engage and listen to the young people, because, they're really comfortable in this space with us. So they talk about the frustrations, at school. They're just giving us busy work, know, and, they talk about just, they miss their friends.
I think what you do is so great, because it gives the kids a place to belong. They have these creative juices and don't know what to do with it. Not only is it a place for them to see other children that look like them, but also an opportunity to grow and be challenged. My sister Gugu went there, who's gone on to do other things. I remember being a background singer when you guys did the
Baby, when party you killed me. I wasn't gonna say that. I was like, you big now.
I remember. Yes, and it's been around before we were Mary, we were just in stage plays, and you were there for these kids, and you're still there, and just honored to see you still doing your thing. And still acting, so the kids see, yes, you can do this. I can be an entrepreneur, and I am also an actress.
Absolutely.
That's what I love what this school is. I love that it's in a great area. You know what I mean? Like you've been there, committed, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. Oh, and it's really interesting now because I just got back. I was in Atlanta working, and the industry has changed so much. You know, it's like it's almost sucking the joy out of work because it's like, you know, mask on top of mask, but then you got your makeup, you got your hair, you got this, and it's like, touch this up, touch that up. But it's like the safety protocols are necessary, and I totally get that. But it's like, whoo, okay. It almost takes the creative freedom out of it, you know, but still blessed to be working on both sides, you know, and we got a long way to go collectively. I think we really do. We got a long way to go, but I'm excited about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're so thankful, and we just appreciate. We can just eat you up all day long. And sit with you.
Because you already told me you bring the baby.
I'm coming. So we can if we could give a round of applause, we sure would for Miss Wendy Raquel Robinson.
Yes.
Get it straight.
You're not the first to do it though. That's what's so funny, sis. You're not the first. It's like somebody's more famous with my name. But
Thank you. So if you just tuned in, we are talking about stepping up our side hustle on this panel brought to you by Union Bank and LA Focus. Me and my girl, ERICA Campbell here, just having this conversation about side hustles. So we want to talk to Miss KASIOPIA Watts about side hustles and making more money. I don't know who you are, but who doesn't want to say hello to some extra cash? Let's welcome KASIOPIA Watts to the platform right now. Hey, Cassie.
Hey, oh my God. Wendy was like amazing, so incredible. Hey, ERICA. Hi. Thank you for having me. Absolutely. Let's talk about some money.
Tell us, you've been doing so many things. Like people don't always know you're in education as an assistant principal, but yet I'm like on BET.com and I see the wedding, the anniversary soiree you planned for Boris and Nicole, and just how you are running Tina Knowles and Richard Lawson's Angel, you know what I'm saying, nonprofit. And just, it seems like you got your hand in so many things. Please tell us, how have you survived this pandemic and how have you stepped up your side hustle?
For sure. And how timely is this tonight, ladies, for this to be a 1-year anniversary right now of when the world really did shift. You know what I mean? And so I remember just last year at this time, I was actually doing Nicole and Boris's daughter's big 15th birthday party. And so we did not even believe that the world was going to be shut down. But I think just, you know, as young people, we're ambitious. Like young women, we want to be bosses. And I think when I had my career already in education, from being a teacher to now assistant principal, I had some time where I was like, wait a minute, you know, sometimes our educators are not always paid the most. And I was thinking, what can I do to boss up and maximize? Because I want to be fly, right? And so, and I'm joking with fly, but really just start to build that generational, you know, wealth for my family and just start to have different things. And there's so many talented young people out there that have a gift or have an idea. I've always been super organized and creative and just wanting things to be zhushed and fabulous. And so I just started doing weddings and starting doing events. And when the pandemic hit, we had to pivot because everything got shut down. I had so many clients who had, you know, been looking forward to these dates and, you know, businesses could not host them. So we had to think of other ways to get really, you know, intimate, but still celebrate moments for folks. You know what I mean? And so that led me to, you know, Boris had called and said he wanted to put together a really nice anniversary. It was their 15th anniversary. And we like rented out a little restaurant courtyard and we got on the beach and we just, you know, you just still make it happen. You got to keep it feeling for yourself.
So I should call you because this is my 20th year anniversary and I'm trying to figure out.
ERICA, we're going to get you all the way together, violin. I mean, we'll get a choir behind you. Don't play.
It's so true. But you're saying that there's just so many ways if we start to even think on a macro level and even on a micro level, what can I do with what I have? I've always been talented. I've always been creative. And it's not like, let me just go into business right away, right? The side hustle is, what do I have in my back pocket? That, like, when I was in middle school, I was selling candy, I was braiding hair. I mean, I was babysitting for people. And just because we're adult women and we have careers and families, it doesn't mean we can't start to look around, look at our homes. Like, I had like 2 whole clothing racks of St. John knit, right? And like back in the day, I was a 20-year-old, married this senior pastor girl, and was like, let me get my Bible and let me get my knit, okay? And I've had it for years, because I kind of woke up one day and was like, you know what? You don't have to wear that if you don't want to. And I was cleaning out in the pandemic, and guess what? I shipped all of those clothes to one of those resellers, and they have been sending me checks every single month as they sell all of those clothes. When I tell you, it was just sitting there. And I'm like, I see. What do you have in your possession, and how can you flip it? Kasiopia is a great example of having a job, working online with the children, throwing events, managing nonprofits. Like, what are some other ways you think you have like your side hustle?
You know
what else are you?
You know what? I started life coaching, right? Because I feel like sometimes women, we just need a best friend in this work, in this pandemic. And so I just started to reach out to women reach out to me, like, how do you do it? How do you manage it all? And it's like, we have to share it. We often just want to see one boss that we all look up to and idolize, but I'm sharing all the gifts, all the tools. And it's just this idea of like, only do what you are uniquely qualified to do. I'm not trying to be in nobody else's lane. I am in my lane. And so I help women to really find out what that lane is. If your lane is peach cobblers, make the best peach cobblers, brand it, pass it out, give me one for free, and I will come back. So I think it's just tapping into what makes women, you know, boss up. What can you do that no one else is doing? What makes you so special? And once you really identify that, I think that's when you really can turn anything into a small revenue, and not nickel and dime people, but really offer great service. And so then they keep coming back.
What would you say to someone who's afraid to start?
Someone afraid to start, I would say start small. I think when we think about businesses, we think about the 5-year plan. We think about already having the building. We think about already having all of the things in place. And I would just first start off with really having a clean aesthetic of what you're going to produce. I would, invest in some really great pictures, because we're in a digital world where everything has to look right and package. And then just test it out with your friends. You can easily say, hey, I have this new product I want to start. I have this new service. What do you think? Get that feedback. And then your friends become your first, client who are going to pass the word, pump you up. And before you know it, like, you're fabulous. Start small, ladies. Start small, and you will be big. You just have to start where you are and know what you have.
Absolutely.
And everybody is showing love. Like Brenda Fountain is saying, this is great, ladies. Like, we just really want to just share that. Like, side hustle is a new cool way to be uniquely you and walk in your lane, and also generate a little bit of revenue, or a lot of revenue,
for sure,
doing things that you love and starting small. I mean, ERICA, you're the queen, right? Of doing ERICA.
A bunch of things. It's funny. When 2020 happened and my concerts stopped, I still had radio. I'm actually sitting in my space where I do radio from 3 to 7 weekday mornings. And then there's another space in my house where I do Bible study on Wednesdays. And then I like to cook for my own family because I think I'm Superwoman. So it's so many sides of me, and I have to be okay with not always being 100%. Be okay with sometimes you won't feel your best. It doesn't mean that you made a mistake or you've done the wrong thing. Because I know a lot of times in business, it's easy to feel like, you know what, I'm doing too much. Let me stop. Sometimes you just need to pause, take a breath, take a deep breather, allow yourself to be and feel however that is. You know what I mean? If you're unsure, say that. It's okay. You don't have to lie to yourself. Yes, you can push yourself, but you don't have to lie to yourself. If you need more help, You know, if you need other hands, if you need some other minds to help you think and develop, all those things are perfectly fine. And I'm so grateful for my circle who has affirmed me and cheered me on, and sometimes even said, Erica, just take a break.
Yeah.
You know, it allows you to work at an optimum level, because I think a tool of the enemy is us being tired and fatigued. A lot of times we work past our tiredness when our body is saying, I need to rest and recharge. And then you're tired and you're grumpy and you're not as clear and you're not as sharp. So especially if you're just starting something, you know, everybody who's watching, make sure you have a plan, make sure you're well rested, and allow yourself to be whatever that means for you. If you got a big personality, be that. If you like the background, be that. Don't feel bad about it. Don't try to be somebody else, because everybody's not Tabitha Brown, right? Sometimes you're in the background and you just have your stuff out there. So wherever you are, be 100% true to yourself.
I love that. I love that. And
So
I think
good, right?
I mean, I'll like take it, because I think we put so much on our plates. And I feel like the pandemic also gave us an opportunity to rest, to be more creative, to develop things that we wanted to do. And for me, I was just thinking, like, God might sit you out for a couple of quarters and he might put you on the bench, but you're going to come back at the end on the board with the slam dunk, right?
Like her.
You have to just rest, because you never know what your next big thing is, or your next small thing that can turn into a big thing. But if you're not rest and ready to go into the game, ladies, especially with business wise, you can miss an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Cassie, for being with us. And you guys, hopefully you're eating this up. Please continue to chat. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Give us your feedback. Encourage us. Tell us, come on, keep going. We're trying to give you some different perspectives on how to do this pandemic, our experiences, the panelists' experiences, and to really give you permission to look at your life and say, what, God, show me, what can I be doing to help generate more revenue, to keep me busy, to pivot into a new career. Sometimes you got to experiment, but nonetheless, we're going to offer things, and hopefully you find something meaningful. Let's just give Cassie a warm thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to continue
you guys
this
are following her
conversation
on social media as well.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Fab Cassie.
Yes. And one last thing, it has to be connected to purpose and passion. Everything you just said, but connect that to purpose and passion. Thank you, ladies, so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
So I'm also excited to welcome Dr. Brittani Hicks, who is a concierge medical practitioner, to this platform, because she is also doing this side hustle and making some more money, and saying hello to some extra cash, because in the pandemic, she had to pivot her business, right? And do something very different than she was. Like, if you're like all of us, I guess, but in a dramatic way, she saw an opportunity. And we want to hear from Dr. Brittani Hicks on how she saw this opportunity and what she did to shift. So, hey, Brittani, tell us a little bit about how your business changed in the pandemic and how you saw it as an opportunity to say hello to some extra cash.
Man, the pandemic changed my whole outlook, because I was working for a big organization 9 to 5, and then everything started shutting down. Everyone started getting sick, and I had a family at home, and I had a medical background, and knew that I wanted to be available, but also take care of people in the community. So I decided to step out on faith, leave the company I had been with for 10 years, and start my side hustle of concierge medicine, which is where we come to you and provide everything you can get done in a family practice, urgent care. We come to you in the privacy of your home. And then with COVID, people wanted COVID testing. They didn't want to go drive through the line, sit at that line. They wanted to be able to call someone and say, hey, can you come to me? So I found that niche, what needed to be done, and I went for it. And it has been so rewarding, because I've been able to work out in the community. I've been able to work with very special people and get them through COVID from start to finish, and just evolve into my side hustle and my own concierge medicine practice, and not work for anyone.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I can testify her business is great because Dr. Brittany has walked with my family through COVID with my husband, and it was absolutely amazing and patient and understanding, you know, because some people, when it comes to doctors, they like doctors, but they fuss with y'all a lot. And she's so patient with me and my family. And it's been really great. And so I'm so glad that we're talking to you now. And maybe there's someone else who's been comfortable at a company for 10 years and, you know, they don't want to take the leap. What would you say?
You just pray about it and do what God leads you to do. I feel like it may not always be easy, but if he says it's for you, and the doors will open up, because that's what happened for me. I prayed about it. God said it was for me, and I work on referrals, and the patients just started coming, and the service that we provide is personal. It's one-on-one. It's intimate. I can cater to you, and you're not just a number. And a lot of services don't offer that. So I wanted to be able to stand apart and be able to make sure that the patient and the client knew you're not just a number, you are family, and I'm going to take care of you like you're my family and be there when you need me.
And this has been a really, right. She's awesome. And this is like the scariest time, and you choose the scariest time in like probably all of our lives to launch a business that you couldn't have had experience in, right? Because we've never done this before.
Right.
So you are the queen. Come on, of pivoting. Like, let me find the testing. Let me get the testing. Now let me launch my business. Now let me go in the house with the test that we've just found. And it's turned into something wonderful. So now I'm wondering how you plan on pivoting when the pandemic is kind of subsiding.
So in testing, I also developed treatment plans. So if I test you and you're positive, not only do I test you and give you your results, but I now treat you. So I developed a very thorough treatment plan to help you get through COVID. Is it the cure? No, I'm not saying it's the cure. Does it ease your symptoms? Does it get you safe, comfortable in the privacy of your home? I would say absolutely.
Me too.
And because COVID has been scary. So after the pandemic, we also offer IV hydration, and a lot of patients don't want to go in still to their primary care. They want to be seen in the privacy of their home. So I think that it will continue for us to be able to see patients in the privacy of their home, and they don't have to go into the medical office and wait and be seen as a number and get one-on-one personal care from myself or someone on my team, because that's what we strive to do. And with God, keeping him first and incorporating him into our treatment. And also, you know, some people, like Ms. Campbell said, don't like medication. They want the holistic approach. We're able to incorporate your needs as well. It's not just, well, I said you need this. This is what science says. We work with you because that's what your body, mind, and spirit needs for us to get through any illness, whether it be COVID, whether it be the flu, whatever it is, to get through. And COVID just made me jumpstart leaving that big company for years and going out and doing what my passion and my heart was, which was to care for the people and offer them a service that they felt like they were family and not just an appointment.
I'm super excited. Can you hear me? Okay, good. We're still on. That's phenomenal. So and have you noticed a shift with your patients and their needs? Like, has that evolved or changed throughout this pandemic?
So starting off with COVID, everyone wanted COVID testing. Then it went to COVID testing and treatment. And now it's going into IV hydration services because people feel like they aren't getting their proper vitamins and nutrients. So they're wanting IV hydration services where they get an extra boost of vitamins. And also we offer aesthetic care. So you can get your Botox and your fillers at home and not have to go out. So there's so many facets of Genesis Concierge Medicine that we can bring to you, and you don't have to go out and put yourself at risk. And then we do education, and we work with the developmentally disabled and go into their homes and work with them and treat them so that they don't have to go out and be at risk, because they have other elements that they face. So we've just been navigating through different levels of care, from the healthy to the developmentally ill to everybody, because everyone is family.
And as you can hear, and I'm sure the people listening and watching are like, wow, because you've said so much of like, listen, not only do we take care of you for testing and treatment and IV hydration, but we also do fillers and we do all these things. And back in the day, it would have been like, just pick one and just do that well. But in this day and age, just like, listen, you have to step up that side hustle that, yes, I do this well, but this also connects to my purpose. This connects to my passion. Sometimes revenue and money helps you do more of what you love to do. So you've just said it all. And I'm sure ERICA can attest to this whole situation as being so sweet and purposeful for our conversation tonight.
Been a blessing to my life, to have someone that you can call and come to your house and supply everything. I mean, even x-rays, everything. It is a total blessing. So make sure you give your information so people who want to follow you or call you or have your services can contact you.
Okay, so you can visit us at cometoumed.com. So www.cometoyoumed.com, because we come to you. You don't come to us.
That's amazing.
Very
Come
nice.
to you. Girl, okay, sis. And I got to get the x-ray. I hadn't gotten that service.
If you don't need it, we're not going to send it. But listen, we do x-ray, ultrasound, whatever you need, EKG. We're full service. We come to you ready and prepared.
Wow. And also you're expecting.
I am expecting. So it's been, it's been busy and it's been trying, because this nausea boy all day sickness is great. But there's a great reward.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, my husband just keeps encouraging me. He's like, it's going to be over. It's going to be over. Praying for it. I'm like, thank you, husband. You're the best.
Oh, that's
and
good.
Our daughter. So, yes. So new business, new baby on the way, family but God is making a way, and I'm traveling to Atlanta to do testing out there. So Genesis Concierge Medicine is everywhere.
I love it.
Yes.
Congratulations to you. So proud of you. And thank you for being here. I'm sorry, there are more questions.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. And be sure to go to cometoumed.com.
Absolutely.
You want to find out more about Dr. Brittani Hicks and Genesis Concierge Medicine, cometoumed.com. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We support you. She added one extra touch and she said, hey, that's being a mom and also being in business and also having side hustles, that we can do a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like God has made our hands sturdy to do a lot. And if we second guess ourselves, we are the ones in the way.
Yeah. I want people to feel and know that is a normal feeling, and we all feel it. It's just what you do after you feel it, right? There's nothing wrong with feeling those, I'm not sure, can I really do it? And then after you ask yourself, then you answer yourself with, yes, I can. Right. With conversations like this and sponsors like this who help us get it done. We got your back. We're rooting for you. Even women that we don't know. I'm just rooting for all of us to win, to step out on faith, to take chances, and to take control of your financial future. You can't just leave it in the hands of the boss that you work for. Sometimes there's other things that you can do to add, to multitask, to layer your finances so you have multiple streams of income.
Absolutely. So we have next, we're talking rethinking your business strategy with NESI Stewart. She is an entrepreneur. She's been serving the community since 2007. let's welcome NESI here to the platform. What's really interesting is that you represent a demographic of people who have been in what I would like to call more of a brick and mortar. You have an actual shop and it's stationary and you've been serving the community. Tell us how you have pivoted in this pandemic. What strategies have you used to serve your community in a new way?
Well, thank you, Pastor Chaney, for inviting me to participate. Hi, ERICA.
Hello.
I feel blessed and privileged to be here. A year ago, I said, I don't know if my business is going to survive. And I was okay with that because I knew that God was in control of what was happening. The pandemic was an emotional awareness transition for me. I had been on a roller coaster for 12 years with my business. It was 24/7, trying to keep up and produce and get things done. And with the pandemic, I was able to step back. We all stepped back, but I was able to relax and think about what was really important to me. And my business at the same time, trying to keep my business. I knew that my business was important, but all of a sudden we became an essential business. There was the cities and the school districts, even Antioch Church that needed the services that we were providing. And we stepped up and we were able to do that. ERICA mentioned that sometimes we as women need to recognize that we need to get help. And I, over the last year, realized I needed to get the right support people in place for me. And I was able to hire staff, empower them, train them, and let them do the things that I didn't want to do or that could relieve me from the day-to-day responsibilities so that I could focus on not just taking care of my business, but taking care of me and promoting my business. Social media became more important and working smarter. So I hired staff that could help with the social media and get the word out about what we were doing and the things that were important in our community. I had the opportunity to do more networking in the community. And as Pastor Chaney shared in my introduction, I'm involved with the Chamber of Commerce and the nonprofits in our community. So I was able to help get the word out about what we were doing and about things that were important in the community. Community is very important to assist in promoting your business. When I first started my business in Los Alamitos, which was an area I wasn't familiar with, I realized the importance of networking and got involved. And that's helped to promote my business, to help others in the community. And now what we're doing is we're sponsoring an art contest for students. And we've gotten businesses and customers to donate money for prizes. And the concept of the art contest was to allow students who had to express themselves artistically about what they've gone through the last year. And we have 5 different levels: junior high, elementary, lower and upper, high school, and college. And we have 5 different topics that they are presenting their art on. And then we have judges, and we are publishing a book with all the entrances that we get. And we're going to sell the book to raise money for 3 of the local nonprofits. So once again, getting involved in the community is really important. What's important to me is using my gifts as God has intended me to, and to serve others. And that's what my focus is on. And in doing that, I'm able to grow my business.
Well, that sounds amazing, because you've taken us kind of on the journey of saying, hey, this pandemic has happened. I am afraid of, I may be afraid of what might happen. My business may or may not survive, but I'm going to use this as an opportunity to do more of what matters to me. I still feel like that's a side hustle in a way, maybe not cash generating directly, but it's your ability to say, this is the lane that I was running, but I want to pick up something else. Mm-hmm. And you kept the business. How is the business doing now? Are we thriving?
We are thriving now. And a big part of it has been us being involved in the community and able to get the word out about who we are and what we're doing. And it's amazing to me how we get referrals from all over the place. We get referrals from people at Antioch. We get referrals from people in Los Angeles. We're getting referrals and we're getting the referrals because of the work that we do, because of the fact that when people visit our business, they are we make sure that they feel special and they're going out and telling others about what we're doing.
That's amazing. I mean, it's just, we see through these experiences that everyone's journey is very different. Mm-hmm. That some of us start and we're passionate about our work and what we're doing, and we're excited, and we pivot and do something differently. Like Wendy said, that, hey, I need to work with adults now. I need to go online, and there's a change. And Cassie saying, let me pick up other opportunities. I've always been into things being beautiful. Let me go into events. I'm going to be a principal, but I'm also going to do this. And now NESI saying, look, I had this business. It was going great, but I needed to be freed up to do things in the community. Mm-hmm. And by me taking care of what matters to me, my business is still thriving. And I'm like, wow, right, Erica? It's just
Absolutely.
Sometimes things happen differently than how we expect them to. And we learn and we grow as a result of that openness. So we are so grateful for you. And is there anything else you want to say about your business? It's Print Masters. It's in Los Alamitos. You cover everything from graphic design, printing, everything else in between. Anything else you want to say to this audience about your business?
We are here to help your business grow, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for individuals, companies that are wanting to grow their business, and we can help you with graphic design and just promoting your business.
And how can people find you and follow you?
We are on Facebook and Instagram. And our website is printmasterslosal.com. Printmasters is singular, LOSAL.com.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
For the doctors out there, one more thing. For the doctors out there, we are certified to print security prescription forms for controlled substances, and one of 30 printers certified in the state of California. So we're able to do that, especially that we have.
That's awesome. Thank you. Right? I'm like, come on. See, so now Brittany can get all her pads for her prescriptions.
Right.
There we have it. We networked and everything. So Erica, I'm so excited that I get to share this space with you. I think we will have one more panelist, and I think you're gonna leave us, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick around for this next panelist, and then I'm gonna let you take over.
See, so we have Mr. Frank Robinson here. He is a tremendous asset, I think, not only to our community, but for the world. He is working diligently. Frank is going to tell us how banks can help businesses during this COVID-19 crisis, and I'm sure beyond. So let's welcome Frank to the platform tonight. Hi, Frank. How are you?
Good morning. Good evening, everyone. It's been a crazy day today, but exciting. It's just a blessing to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell us, how can banks help businesses like some of the ones you've heard tonight and those watching during this COVID-19 crisis?
Yeah, we're interesting into a real interesting time. Before I begin, Anisi said something about an art contest, and that's been on my mind. And I just want to give her a tidbit of something that I've been working on that I think we can collaborate together. Wouldn't it be great if that artwork was available and we somehow get that artwork and we kind of reproduce those and make them available to the community, to corporations to sell, and those particular artwork and all the proceeds of that go into students' 529 college education plans.
Wow.
But now we're thinking about this generation of art coming through because it's talking about what's going on in our community, but then laying the groundwork and hopefully helping these young people go to college and never have to worry about a bill.
Yeah.
That's part of what we're seeing right now in this community is it's harder to get into college, but it's even harder to pay for college. And then you can come out of that and you've got all these student loan bills and everything else. So maybe this is a way in which we could do that. I'm gonna get with her a little bit later on that because I thought that was a brilliant idea. And when it comes to what's happening today, this pandemic, we've also seen social unrest. We've seen, racial divide in this country. So there's a group of young people, even us, we've never seen this in combination. So this is just like a lot of weight on us. So, I was talking to my pastor and he said, Frank, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. He said, understand this. When you get a setback, don't take a step back because God's already preparing you for the comeback. And that laid the seed that just told me that it's going to be all right. We're going to get through this together. So how can a bank be purposeful in its efforts? And a lot of banks, and I'm just going to speak for all of us, we realize that we have to be a better citizen. We realize that we have to be better in the community. We have to do things with empathy and listen and learn. So, for us, like all banks, they have a foundation for support, and we've always done that. But then when COVID hit, Union Bank said, look, let's take $3 million of that money and just allocate it strictly for COVID. And we saw the murder of George Floyd. And that devastated a lot of us. I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And there was an incident down there. And so it just hurt me so much. And the bank said, look, let's take $10 million and look to develop something called Community Recovery Program. And I'm happy to chair that for the bank. And we're looking for 501c3 organization. We're looking for 501c6 organization because the money is not in our foundation. The money is outside the foundation, but we're going to help organizations like the African American Chamber of Commerce because we need to help Black businesses come back and grow. Because the thing of it is, right now we are in survival mode, but I think a lot of us can see that we are getting past surviving, and now we need to start thriving, and we can do that together. So I think that's one of the things that's really important for us is to make sure that we're there and that we're going to be that voice for them and to help businesses grow and help communities. My mother is a single, raised by a single mom. Me and my sister call each other every now and then and go, how did she do it? How did she do it back then? Yeah. We talk about little struggles that we have and we're thinking, she raised 2 kids in the middle of Baton Rouge and all this. And we're saying, and my mom, my sister said, power of a Black woman. And she said, bye. And I go, okay. So, I think a lot of us on this call have seen some really great things and talked about some really good, but to me, I'm not surprised. Are you surprised? So I'm happy to share this conversation because I'm learning a lot. I think I'm on my 3rd page of notes here. Things that I've been writing down. So it's just incredible just to hear and to witness the transformation, the pivoting of businesses and how to get businesses to grow. And I think banks need to be a part of that development. We don't need to be your business bank. We need to be your business partner.
I love it.
And figuring out how ways that we can connect you and do things that, you know, you're not going to see before. I mean, we're offering, a lot of banks offer scholarships for diverse business enterprises. We offer to go to UCLA.
Wow.
So, you know, so you could take your business that's doing probably $1 million in annual sales. After that program, you're projected to do, and I would say 80% of those companies have tripled in business.
Wow.
So how do we make sure that Black women, women of color, are part of that process to get selected to get into that UCLA program? How do we do some other things that ensures on supplier diversity that you take your contacts that you have and make them contracts? That's important. Right. Your contacts are okay, but let's turn them into contracts. So that's what a bank should be doing.
I love that. What would be the first step for someone if they have a business, if they have a plan and they need financing and they need a partner? What would be the first order of business for them?
Yeah, one of the first things that we saw, especially out of the PPP, was we didn't see a lot of Black women apply. We didn't see the number, and we're thinking, what happened? What did we do wrong? What did we get the word out? Did we, all these things that were important? And one of the basic things that we found out was a lot of minority-owned businesses did not have a relationship with their banker. You know, I tell the analogy that I know Magic Johnson. I'm just not sure that Magic knows me. In that same vein, you may know who your branch manager is at your local bank, but does that person know you? Does he really understand or she understand your business, where you plan on going in 5 years, what your goals, what your aspirations? Why did you even start your business? And then from there, you have that dialogue, because now you have you build a relationship to whereby that banker, if it truly is a great banker, it doesn't care what bank you're at, because people bank with bankers. They don't bank with banks. Because if you find a great banker, that person's going to say, look, here's a supplier diversity manager. I'm going to set up a meeting. How many of your folks right now have gone to any event sponsored by a bank and been the guest of the bank to sit up front? Make sure that that person, that banker, introduces you to everybody in the room. I know we're in a COVID environment, but when we get out of that, or even before we got into COVID, how many of your folks did that? I think it's critically important for us to make sure that you're always in the room, that your voice is heard, and that your banker should be doing as much business for you as you are. Because like earlier said, we need to develop a team around you. Your lawyer, your CPA, and your banker need to be working in unison together for your business. It's not about working harder, it's working smarter. And as your business grows, you can now look at your team and say, I got here together, because here's the most important thing for me as a banker. If I help you succeed, I'm successful. So why wouldn't I want to do that?
For sure.
It's incredibly important for us to do that. And I think that's why you always have to try and find a great banker and put that person on your team, and then you guys roll together. It's an army. And now that you got your troops, you're empowered. You're not feeling alone, like I heard earlier. You don't feel like you have to be Superwoman.
Yeah.
You know, you can take the cape off every now and then. It's okay. And it's empowering, because now you got people who want to do good work for you and good work with you. And that's a true blessing. And I love to see that with a lot of our entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you're going to hang out with us a little bit longer, but I think ERICA is going to go. So we thank you, ERICA, for being here tonight. We celebrate you.
You know, MYESHA, if you need me, I'll stay. If you need me,
sis,
I can hang out.
Come on, we hanging. We almost to the finish line. Yeah, it's
right,
awesome.
Well, listen, if we almost here, I'm not going to go. As long as my kids remain quiet, I'm good.
Right? Well, we're going to see a little bit about Union Bank. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Oh, pop me up. Hey.
We'll be right back. We got some questions for everybody to answer after this short commercial from our partner and sponsor.
One of the greatest challenges for every small business, let alone a minority business, is access to capital and access to funding, because it does take money to make money. I was looking at different banks, and Union Bank was able to look at my potential when no other banks would lend to me.
Thank you guys so much. Union Bank is the sponsor for tonight, and I think they are open and ready to make those relationships like Frank mentioned. I just want to open this question up to all of our panelists, and you also, Ms. Wendy. How has COVID changed the way you provide services? How are you adapting to a new business normal during the pandemic? And we can also open this time up for question and answer. So we can do all three at once. Let us know what your questions are in the comments, and we will be sure to address those. But in the meantime, if any of you want to chime in on the way COVID has changed things for you, how you sell products, how you do your business, or any of the questions we have in our chat.
MYESHA, while the questions come in, I'll say that me and my husband had to learn how to perform at home. When we first started the service, we had to get a green screen. We got cameras, we got lights, ring lights, backdrops. We did the whole thing and just had to figure it out, because everybody's like, hey, can you sing in a performance? Luckily, we have a piano in our house and my kids sing background. So it was like a family affair. We shot a video to one of my songs while we were here. And it was literally learning programs that was on the computer to help us keep, giving music to the world, to keep encouraging the world, starting YouTube channels. My podcast is starting. There's other things that you just learn to do. And sometimes it's kind of on the job training. And so, but when you have the courage to do it and you have partners and you're being cheered on and somebody's got your back, it's easy to do. So it's kind of secondary now, to film ourselves and send these performances. You learn all these different things and you just make it happen. You can't be afraid.
And that's what I was saying earlier, from these obstacles, so many other opportunities. You probably wouldn't have even been doing that had not this have happened. So it's forced us to shift and think. And Mr. Robinson, I'm sure we're probably related.
We are.
I had a question, because earlier I was talking about, how we did get the PPPs and everything like that. But we are an arts organization. So I want to say out of my 12 employees, they're independent contractors. So they were not payrolled. But, the new law that went into effect in 2020, where all independent contractors had to become employees. I'm going to make this really quick, but this might impact a lot of people, because it was a huge impact on the amount that we were able to get. But I was not able to get the PPP monies for my independent contractors because we did not go to full-time payroll until June. So I wanted to ask you, U.S. Bank, we have a great relationship with you all, but what would you suggest to those that, do not have the employees, for the PPP? What other alternatives, and how can we be in business with you and partnership and all of that good stuff?
Yeah, first thing is, luckily the law changed a little bit. Not that law, but the law of the PPP. You got to realize, under the last administration, there were things that were put in that PPP that was totally a disadvantage to Black people.
Yes, it was.
Things like you couldn't have a criminal record. Who were they targeting?
Right.
There were things in there that made it difficult for certain groups of people to get financing. This new administration wiped all that out. Okay. You have to get to a level where you get equity in America. It's not just getting equality. You have to get equity. And so we're looking at that. Here's what I would suggest. I would suggest that you have a conversation with several people, not just your bank, but there are organizations CDFIs, there are some really terrific ones in Los Angeles. And
CDFI?
CDFIs are community development financial institutions. Okay. And these are nonprofit organizations that are there for you. And they do everything from technical assistance to everything. And they also do PPP. There were some churches that at the last minute came up to me and said, Frank, can we get this in? I'm like, man, we shut that down about 2 days ago to do the first time on PPP. You're past the. So I called a friend of mine at a CDC. He said, Frank, they got an hour. If they call me right now, we can get it done. Did the application over the phone, called me back, said, Frank, they're in, we're locked, they're good. I got the number. And they got their money. So a banker will know these CDFIs and know what to do because they offer services that a bank can't offer. They do finance. And sometimes, and I'll be honest, they have more flexible underwriting because their credit criteria is a little bit different from or more or less stringent than a bank. So they're really good. But they have that technical assistance. They can provide you that independent that you're not going to see at a U.S. bank, a Union Bank, a Wells Fargo, or a B of A. And I'm just speaking truthfully, if I may.
Please be transparent. Because when you say it was very difficult when, half your staff, independent contractors, and they don't qualify. And it's like, but we've been paying them. It's like, it doesn't matter. So
one of the biggest ones was Black newspapers.
Wow.
Their staffs were all 1099s.
Yeah.
So how are they going to get support? Because they're trying to make sure their people are paid.
Absolutely.
So they got families.
Right.
So, like I said, a lot of things were done. Trump administration, Biden administration. So there's ways of looking at this. You're welcome to give, contact me. I can look and research that for you to make sure that what we can do and what banks can do under the new PPP. There's even other things. There's Main Street. I don't know if you've heard of that financing program that's out there. There's other things that the Biden administration is doing. We're hoping that, there's the forgiveness part is coming down the pipe. You need to know all of these things. I think with knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And I also think this is a great place for Edwin Lombard to join us because of the work that he does in his organization to educate and train and support Black businesses. How would you like to weigh in, Edwin, on this topic?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here tonight. And Lisa, what a blessing. This town hall is amazing. It was incredible to just sit here and watch all these awesome, beautiful Black women expressing all of this great success that they're having. And I'm truly just blessed to be here. Couple of things I wanted to say. And one of your panelists earlier mentioned this. One of the most important things to success in business is you have to know and understand what your purpose is, right? Everyone who exists in this physical realm that we're in right now has a purpose in life. God intended you to be here for a specific purpose. And if you can get into your spirit person, that spirit realm, and determine through the Holy Spirit and God's blessing what your true purpose is in life, that's when you see success. And you see success at a level that you could have never imagined. My purpose in life was to be an advocate and support Black small business and the Black community. And that's why I am the president and CEO of the California African American Chamber of Commerce. I also have a small independent consulting firm called ELM Strategy. I've been at that for 21 years. Most of you don't even know who I am, but I've been at the legislature and in regulatory hearings, making sure that you have a seat at the table and that Black business does not get thrown out with the bathwater. It's a very important job that I do, but it's not one that you would see on a regular basis. The reason I say these things is I heard all these great side hustles. I heard all these great businesses that people are running and performing. My question to you is your business set up properly? Are you licensed? Is your business set up with the Secretary of State here in Sacramento so that you can legitimately show that you are a business? And, you know, one of the things we ran into as Black organizations when the first round of PPP came along, and even with the subsequent phases of PPP and EIDL and so forth, we couldn't show on paper that we were a legitimate business.
Wow.
One of the most important things is that you can produce a financial statement that says, I made this amount of money, I had expenses of this amount, and I netted out this amount, right? And Frank will tell you, the first thing a banker is going to ask you, give me some financials, right? What's your business plan, right? These are the things that as Black businesses, we just have not done, right? We have a hobby and we're really good at it. And we decide, you know what? I'm going to turn this into a business. I'm going to make some money. So you put out a shingle and you open up a business, and you're right. You're successful. You're making money. You have a bank account, so you think you're running a business. But when the time comes, you can't even show that you're a legitimate organization. We have to change that dynamic, ladies and gentlemen.
It's good.
COVID, even with all its negativity, has brought about an awesome opportunity for us to correct this path that we're on. And if we get it right this time, we never have to look back again.
Great.
One of my main purposes in life is to help bring about systemic change in the Black community. And when I say systemic change in the Black community, I mean, I would like to see all the businesses in the Black community be Black businesses. Just imagine if every corner store, every McDonald's, every dry cleaners, every rental car company, every accounting service, you name it, was Black owned. Those businesses could then hire our students and our young people so that they can have a part-time job after school. Gets them off the street. It gives them the ability to earn an income for themselves. It teaches them professionalism and gives them structure. It also teaches them what it means to be an entrepreneur. That's systemic change.
Absolutely.
That's what we need in the Black community right now. And Frank I see him over there with that smile on his face because he knows this is true. These are the things that we need in the Black community. And we also have to learn how to work with each other, right? The state of California spends billions of dollars every year in contracts. Black businesses get less than 0.5% of those contracts.
Wow.
Less than 0.5%. We're at least 6% of the population in California. That's a travesty. It should not be that way. But part of the reason is we cannot legitimately show on paper that we are a business. Number one. Number two, because of that, we don't get certified. It's a very simple process to get certified with the Department of General Services. The other thing is we operate in silos. So it's like, I got mine, so now go get yours, right? That doesn't give us enough capacity to take on these contracts. But if you would partner with another company that's doing the same type of business that you're doing, or maybe something slightly different, then you have the capacity to then take on these contracts. And one of the most important things that we can do is develop enough capacity so that we can become the prime. And when you're a prime, then you hire the subs who actually do the work under the contract. So if you got Black primes, you're hiring Black subs. And they're giving contracts to Black businesses. And we're hiring our young people and keeping them off the street in the neighborhood.
Recycling dollars.
It's a systemic change, and it's a dynamic change that we need today in our society. I'm going to say one last thing, and then I'm going to let you go back to your Q&A, and that is, with the American Rescue Plan that President Biden just signed into law, everybody has an opportunity to take a bite of the apple. If you don't apply for some of this money and some of these grants, shame on you.
Right.
Here's your opportunity. Take advantage of it. If you're really paying attention to what's going on, who would have imagined that the entire world would have been shut down?
Right.
Stopped in its tracks, could no longer function. Only one being I know could do that, and that's God.
Amen.
Come on now. The other thing I see happening, and if you pay close attention, you will start to realize this yourself. I see a wealth shift. I see wealth shifting to the Black community in a way that it never had before. But the only way you're going to be able to take advantage of that is if you are properly structured and prepared to take advantage of those opportunities. The California African American Chamber of Commerce website is calAACC.org. That's CALCC.org. An email address where you can send questions or request opportunities or just to connect with us is chamber, CHAMBER at calAACC.org. Reach out, please. I'd love to help you and help you get connected. In order to find out more information about these PPP loans and the IDLs and so forth, it's simple, SBA.gov. SBA.gov, it's just that simple. And here on the state level, if you plug into what's going on with the state, the governor's office of business called GoBiz. If you go to GoBiz's website, everything that's available for you as a small business is there. And there are grants, ladies and gentlemen, that right now you can apply for that they run anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 that you can get so quickly and so easily. It'll make your head spin. Grants, you never have to pay this money back. So go to the GoBiz website and check out those opportunities. Go to the Chamber's landing page, which will eventually be a full-blown website, and tap into some of this knowledge that we're trying to make available to you. Watch our webinars so that you can be informed, and reach out to people like Frank, a true banker who has a heart and who wants to help you to thrive and be successful. And thank you for having me tonight. I love this.
Thank you so much. So we can open it all the way up to any questions. We've seen some in the chat. Let us know what you want to hear, how we can help. This is our Q&A segment. We're almost finished for the night, but whatever questions, feedback, let us know right now in the chat, and we will bring them to our panel. We're so thankful for each and every one that has spoken and shared today. It's been refreshing and meaningful. So what are your questions? Somebody said, I just started my business like last week. How long should I wait to be an LLC?
Don't wait. Don't wait. Do it now. Do it now. And then after you become an LLC, get with your accountant and ask him to show you how you can file taxes as an LLC as if you were a subchapter S corporation. The reason I ask you to do that is, as an LLC, when you file your taxes, you have to still pay the self-employment tax, which is about 8.6%, I think, right off the top of everything that you make. As a subchapter S corporation, you don't have to pay that. So you still be an LLC. You're not a corporation. You're an LLC, but you're being taxed as if you're a subchapter S corporation. Very easy thing to do. It will save you a ton of money in taxes.
Okay, that's very helpful. Somebody else said, what should I do to make sure my business is proper?
Yeah, well, if you can go to the Secretary of State's website and look up your business, then it's a proper business. If you can't find your business on the Secretary of State's website, you got to get busy. And the great thing is that website is so easy. You can go onto it. You can set up your business right there on the website. You can file your statement of information. It's very inexpensive to do, and it doesn't take very long. And if you don't really understand it, you can go to your local SBDC, Small Business Development Center, or CDFI, and they'll help you do it. That's what they're there for. The SBA gives them money. This is already paid for through your tax dollars in order to help you establish yourself properly. So take advantage of that. And then also, you've got local Black chambers of commerce all throughout the state. They can help you do that. So we've got assets to our availability. We just don't use them.
That's the best four-letter word I know is free. And so there are free services out there, and these are experts in their field that can assist you. to make sure. And when we open up an account for someone, we go on the Secretary of State website to see if you're in good standing. If you're not in good standing, you're not there, we can't open up the account. So you have to be. It's absolutely critical.
Thank you for that. Tina Robinson said, are the grants and loans available for new businesses?
Well, there are some grants that are made available for startups. And the NorCal SBDC right now has a program called the Exclusivity Project. It was created by a good friend of mine. His name is Chris Horton. And in the Exclusivity Project, there is a grant program for startups, and they're giving you money to start your business. So just Google NorCal SBDC, and then go and look at their Exclusivity Project. Their project is to give and support 100 million Black businesses throughout the United States.
Wow.
This year, 100 million.
And there's also, to that point, there's also other organizations down in San Diego where I live. The Black Chamber developed a fund where they got organizations like the San Diego Foundation and others, banks, everybody else to put in this fund, and they put $1 million in this fund to give out grants to Black business owners going through this pandemic. So there was free money available to get people through. To the point about new businesses, you're not going to see too many banks giving out new businesses unless they're SBA guaranteed. There is the state of California has a guaranteed program, and that guaranteed program is up to 95%. Everyone knows that program is very good, and banks utilize that. But on top of that, you have those CDFIs, those other organizations that are looking to figure out how can we be creative and innovative in this environment. And they know and they want to start looking at how do we work with diverse business enterprises. So we have to push and we have to make those things available and basically let you know that those funds are available. And they do look at new businesses. So most of those will be guaranteed by either the SBA or by the state. And so because it helps a bank or any other lender look at that and mitigate our risk for a new business. But again, like I was said, there is some grant money out there and available. And most of them, you will see them from like some CDFIs or some funds that have been put together. I just know in San Diego, the Black Chamber was a force, and they went knocking on everybody's door and said, you will put in some money to help Black businesses. Nice. And they did not say no. And everybody wrote a check, and they were able to do it within, everyone, I think it was 3 months.
Yeah, it was relatively quick. Yeah.
It was real quick. So there's things out there around the state. So please take advantage.
And there's some money specifically earmarked for Black women. I mean, lots of money specifically earmarked for Black women. And I always say, thank you, Miss Kamala Harris, for being such a warrior and giving Black women a voice at the highest levels of the political realm. And opening doors for Black women that have never been opened before.
Absolutely.
I believe that United States is going to be great again when Black women rule the United States. I didn't say women. I said Black women.
Very smart man.
Well, I'm unapologetically Black, and I will always be that way.
One of the things that came out of this pandemic and the research that we're seeing is the pandemic, racial unrest, everything has affected Black women in greater proportion, greater numbers than any other group of folks out there. So it's incumbent, and they've been almost the victim in this, and because their resiliency and how they go about doing their work and going about their lives. But it's time to say, wait a minute, because we were looking at some analysis going, wait a minute. The numbers are showing it's Black women. So we need to put our effort towards assisting Black women. And it's not a handout. It's just an assist. It's just say, here, we're here to help. And I think as more and more Black women start to understand that, I think they don't have to be that superwoman that was talked about earlier. And if they do need help, let's get you some help. Because the numbers clear. The data shows that this pandemic has been just devastating towards Black women, and we need to make sure that is corrected.
Absolutely great information. This is so powerful. And I know the questions are coming in and people are really excited, and it changes the way you think. You know, the more we do stuff like this, the more it opens up our mind. When you get new information, it's exciting. And so thank you, gentlemen, for sharing this information. Are there any more questions?
I think we can take some closing remarks. This has been a wonderful and meaningful time. Thank you to all those who have been on the panel: Kasiopia Watts, Dr. Brittany Hicks, and NESI Stewart. And I mean, it's just been a tremendous opportunity to learn more, to grow, and to hear different perspectives. So ERICA, if you have any closing remarks, Mr. Robinson.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Lisa Collins for allowing me to be a part of this. To you, MYESHA, and to all the panelists for all the information, for all your positive information about how you've managed during this pandemic, how you've grown. Thank you, gentlemen, for the information on making sure our business is proper and in order and registered. And I think we've all got notes to do research. You know, even in my business, I'm going to comb over some things to make sure that I'm making the best use of my product, what I sell, what I give to people. It's been amazing.
Absolutely.
Any final words, Frank?
During these times, I'm always reminded of my father who passed away. And, you know, the joke in my dad's family was he was Poe. Y'all know what Poe is. When you can't that's beyond poor. And he had one pair of shoes. He would always say, by the time April came around, he stepped on a coin. If he stepped on a coin, he could tell the difference between a nickel or a dime. You know, his holes in his shoes were so big. But he ended up being quite successful later in life. And I told him I was going to be a banker. And I've been with Union Bank for 25 years. And I said, when I got the job, I said, Dad, I'm going to be successful like you one day. And he said, son, I never wanted you to be successful. I want my son to be significant.
Wow.
And it changed my entire thought process. I didn't think about the private bank. I didn't think about investment services. I just thought about how can I be a difference in my community and the people around me. And banking allowed me to do that. And I found my love of what I do at this bank. But what I was so impressed by is when all the speakers started talking about passion, what makes it different. And when Ms. Stewart was talking about giving back to the community, that's not being successful, that's being significant.
Wow. Yeah.
And so all of that and the work that everyone is doing here, I think that's a key. And everybody who's been saying where they're coming from, like Sacramento, and I see Corona, and I see all these different places, let's be significant to our community. And I think that's the parting word that I think, and the refreshing joy that I have as I'm listening and hearing and witnessing everything today. So thank you so much.
Wow, thank you.
Wow. Thank you all. We have one more commercial from our partners, Union Bank. If we can see this, and then we will say our final goodbyes. That'll be awesome. Well, maybe we just say our final goodbyes first.
I was looking at different banks, and Union Bank was able to look at my potential when no other banks would lend to me.
Well, our time has come. We are so thankful for each and every person. ERICA has said it, LA Focus, Union Bank, all of our panelists, our financial experts on this panel, Miss Wendy Raquel Robinson. We are just so thankful for each of you. And we look forward to this conversation continuing. Our next town hall will be at the end of this month, and it will be dynamic and refreshing. So be sure you stay tuned, you stay locked. We have some exciting things to continue this conversation. Ladies, step up your side hustle. It's okay to make some extra cash doing something else, but also taking care of your purpose at the same time. As you've heard in our stories and feedback, that God uses all of these things to work together for the good. And we're so thankful for this night and this space and this opportunity. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Got your back.